Good morning, bonjour, ohayo gozaimasu, mwaramutse, habari za asubuhi, bodia. Today, I'm standing in front of you to talk to you about a business topic. The business topic is not about the Nestlé company. Smart people could guess why I'm talking to you about the Nestlé company and about business in particular. Great. I'd like to reveal a secret to you. In order to become a rich man, you don't need to study economics. You don't need to study management. You don't need to study applied physics. You don't need to study engineering, for example. But you know what you need? You need to buy cheap and sell dear. That's the only secret to become rich. So today I'm going to make you rich people, as Nestlé has become rich, of course. But before we go on to our main topic, I would like to introduce myself to you. I'm called Yves Benimana and I'm a second year BBA student at Horizons University. I am Rwandan by birth. Do you know where Rwanda is? Rwanda is located in Central Africa and it borders with the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a famously war-torn country, unfortunately. Besides the DRC, it borders with Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi. Rwanda is full of mountains and hills, and it's famous for its mountain gorillas. Wonderful. Let's get on to our topic. The Nestlé Company. What's the history of Nestlé Company? Nestlé started in 1866 when the first European condensed milk factory was opened in Caen, Switzerland by the Anglo-Swiss Condensed Milk Company. A year later, that's in 1867, a German pharmacist whose name is Henri Nestlé launched his Farine Lactée, which is a combination of products, among others, cow's milk, wheat flour, and sugar. And like that, he could save the life of a neighbor's child. Understandably, that child was suffering from malnutrition. The name, logo, and first infant food product are Henri Nestlé's inventions. You can imagine how great that gentleman, that German pharmacist is, because before we buy Nescafe, before we eat some of Nestlé's products like chocolate and on and on and on, we should give thanks to that German pharmacist. Wonderful. Then you could ask yourself, how did Nestlé become so famous? What's its strategy? The strategy of Nestlé is referred to as Nestlé Roadmap to Good Food, Good Life at Nestlé. Nestlé's goals are to be a global leader in nutrition, health, and wellness. Again, it wants to earn trust of stakeholders and to be the reference for financial performance in its field. Imagine, Nestlé doesn't only look after its shareholders, but it also thinks about stakeholders because Nestlé wants to make best quality products. They want you to consume very healthy products. They want you to be physically fit, to be strong. What a wonderful company. Leadership is more than size for Nestlé managers. Leadership could also include behaviors and trust, because you need trust from consumers in order to keep buying your products, but also you need to behave well. Managers and all Nestlé staffs could behave well in order to attract more customers. Definitely. That's a very smart move. Nestlé's ambitions, Nestlé's interests are also encapsulated in one phrase. Good food, good life. It means Nestlé could never make products that may harm your life. They want you to have good health. Wonderful. Let's go on to another point of Nestlé, another good strategy of Nestlé, because strategies are not only limited to good food, good life, but other things have also to come in the equation. Nestlé's corporate business principles. In our corporate world, we should compare that to Nestlé's business ethics. What are the morally acceptable principles that Nestlé follow? Corporate business principles are at the basis of its organizational culture, which formed over 140 years. Imagine, Nestlé is a very culturally rich organization because it has been there for more than 140 years. It means it acquired a lot of experience in terms of different cultures. Great. I will always be buying Nestlé's products because I want to live longer and I want to become rich. Wonderful. Okay. For Nestlé, in order to have a long-term success, managers need to focus not only on shareholders but on stakeholders as well, as I told you a few minutes earlier. Managers have to comply with all legal requirements. They have to sustain activities. They have to significantly value the society, and that process of significantly valuing the society is known as creating shared value at Nestlé. In order to be flexible to all its foreign branches, Nestlé has created a systematic and comprehensive managerial training program. Those trainings are aimed at increasing Nestlé's employees' knowledge in management and leadership, conditions of work, and employment and compliance. The trainings help in reminding Nestlé's staff that Nestlé's core values should remain fairness, honesty, and a general concern for people. Wonderful. Just to look after people's lives. It means to allow people to keep having good health. Great. Nestlé should always put into consideration local legislation, cultural and religious practices. For instance, if you engage in a new market, you should consider all that. That is part of intercultural management. Wonderful. But, in fact, what do you understand by intercultural management, for instance? Intercultural management is basically looking at ways to help people to communicate, to work and manage with people from different cultures. How can a company build up satisfying, successful relationships with people from different cultures? That is what Nestlé do. Nestlé always strives to implement intercultural management consistently. I highlight that, consistently. Again, Nestlé supports transformational leaders. They want their managers to behave as transformational leaders. What is transformational leadership? Transformational leadership is a kind of leadership that supports change. That change can either be economical, social, or even cultural change. It means you have to embrace what is local and try to compare it with what is international, probably, or what is from your own country, and see how best you can make the two different things coexist in harmony. Wonderful. Nestle should always put into consideration all that. That's what I was talking about. The cultural differences, economical differences, social differences, religious differences, all that. Great. Nestle business principles are: first, nutrition, health, and wellness. There we go. They care about us. I'm glad. I'm glad and thankful. Second, quality assurance and product safety. Third, consumer communication. Number four, human rights in business activities. It means you don't have to tell workers just work for 24 hours. Workers should have rest. Workers should be allowed their annual leaves, for instance, or maternity leaves, and on and on and on. Number five, leadership and personal responsibility. Number six, safety and health at work. You should ensure that the machinery at Nestle are compatible, that they are in good conditions, that they are serviced regularly. 7. Supply and customer relations. Managers at Nestle should never be bullying their suppliers, drivers of companies that supply them with materials, for instance. Managers and international marketing specialists at Nestle should have very good negotiating skills, for instance. They should be in a position to politely talk to their business partners, Wonderful. 8. Agriculture and rural development. 9. Environmental sustainability. And 10, which is the last point, worry. So this makes us come to a theory called the triple bottom line. What is the triple bottom line? Triple bottom line means people, planet, and profit. All those three things should go together, hand in hand. For our last 3 points, or the last 3 points of Nestle's business principles, which are agriculture and rural development, environmental sustainability, and water. These 3 points are in the 3 bottom line, just in place. So, Nestle values the place, the environment where they work. They should care about it. They should not try and pollute that environment. Wonderful. Then, what reason was behind Nestle's embrace of intercultural management? I guess 2 reasons were there, or just 2 reasons pushed Nestle to embrace intercultural management. First, globalization. Our world tends globalizing. It means our world is no longer a world where a company should only remain in one place and operate there. You have to run your business worldwide. And if you are to do that, you have to embrace intercultural differences. You have to specialize in intercultural management. Otherwise, you will fail. Because you have to know about what are different religious beliefs, what are different social tendencies in different countries. Otherwise, you will definitely fail. The second thing was saturation of markets, because in Switzerland, Nestle's market was saturated, probably in Europe and in the United States and Canada, probably, or in other developed countries such as Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and on and on and on. So they had to look for new markets. And in doing that, they had to target countries with big populations like India, for instance, or other BRICS countries. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, because those countries have the fastest growing economies and they have big populations. So for Nestle, targeting India was something very logical. And remember, Nestle needed India more than India needed Nestle. So Nestle had to specialize in India's culture, for instance, in India's religious practices, and on and on and on. Right. One of the tactics Nestle used was to hire local Indians as managers. You may ask why. Certainly because locals knew what best practices Nestle had to employ to please prospective customers and staffs. Here we again go back to our theory of triple bottom line. People, planet, or profit, or people, place, and profit. So here we are talking about people. So Nestle had to look at the triple bottom line in caring after the people of India. There we go. Then the next question is, what qualities and characteristics does Nestle need in a manager? A manager should have courage, solid nerves, and composure. Capacity to handle stress. So a manager should be flexible and he or she should have analytical skills as well. A manager should be able to learn. A manager should have open-mindedness and perceptiveness. A manager should be able to communicate, to motivate, and to develop people. So a manager should be charismatic and natural. A manager should have such a big charisma at Nestle in order to attract a lot of followers. In Nestle's case, followers are customers. And a manager at Nestle should be able to create a climate of motivation, innovation, international experience, and understanding of other cultures. A manager at Nestle should have willingness to accept change and ability to manage change. A manager at Nestle should have credibility. In other words, a manager should practice what he or she preaches. A manager should think in context. It means a manager should avoid taking things personal. Then, finally, why did Nestle be successful? Its secret lies in decentralizing authority as to let local branches decide what's best for themselves. What a smart move. Again, could Nestle headquarters suggest best practices, for instance? They let local branches managers decide their own ways to implement them. Again, embracing intercultural management has been of paramount importance at Nestle. Why? Because it creates trust among local staffs and prevents them from thinking about discrimination and cultural values imposition. There we go. Introduce democracy. Be democratic. That's what Nestle has done. Allow, for instance, Indian managers to decide what is good. And Nestle has made a lot of money. Nestle is a well-established company because of its understanding of intercultural management. Another explanation of Nestle's success could be found in its transformational leadership style. It means Nestle always recommends its managers to be seeking for change, to be transformational leaders. There we go. As I told you, you don't need to hold a PhD in economics or in finance or in BBA or in international relations or in engineering or in political science to be rich. The only secret is buy cheap and sell dear. But how do you manage that? You have to embrace intercultural management and you have to embrace the transformational leadership style, because you need to communicate with people overseas in order to sell your products. Either you run any business, it means if you want to engage in e-commerce, or if you want to run traditional shops like opening a shop in your country, on your neighborhood, anywhere in another city within your country. But you need to embrace those two things: intercultural management and transformational leadership style. Okay. Thank you very, very much for having followed this talk of mine about Nestlé's success story. I hope this is gonna help you very, very much. Either you are a business student, either you are a student in economics, either you are a prospective businessman, or whether you are already running your own business. Thank you very, very much. I hope this is gonna be very helpful to you. Have a great evening. Bye.